Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a job interview, so I have to get ready for that. So I figured while I'm getting ready, I might as well do a little story time. And today's story time is going to be my birth story. Y'all want to hear about birth, so we're going to do birth. I get questions about my birth all the time. And was it easy? Was it hard? Did it hurt? How long was it? So hopefully this answers all your questions, but if you still have some, go ahead and comment them. I'll answer those in the comments. Hayden's chilling out over there while I do my makeup because he likes to grab things and also my face, and we can't have that while I'm doing my makeup. Hayden's due date was September 11th, 2019, and I really thought that I was going to go into labor early because I kept getting like really painful contractions, and it turns out I was in pre-labor. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where like you're getting labor contractions, but they're not regular, and like you're not dilating or anything. So pre-labor can last anywhere from like 2 hours to 2 weeks. But yeah, it turned out I was in pre-labor because I managed to go all the way past my due date. The 11th hit, and automatically I was so annoyed because I was like, why is he not here? Like, I was told this day I was going to have my son. So on the 12th, I had to go in for my 40-week OB appointment because I had just obviously hit 40 weeks, which is his due date. So when we got there, I was already in a pretty bad, sour mood. They asked me how I was feeling, and I just straight up said that I was annoyed because I wanted him out. I wanted to go into labor. I was heavily pregnant. Say mama. But anyways, the doctor came in, and this doctor, I had her many times over the course of my pregnancy. When I had seen her, she was also one of my gynecologists. Yeah. So she asked how I was feeling. Oh, there's something in my eye. And I kind of wanted to just take a chance. I told her that Hayden was moving a little bit less than he usually was, which is not always a bad thing. It could just mean that they're setting him for labor, but I wanted to know like if that was something that could get me induced because I was so over it. I was so done being pregnant at that point. But when she went to go check my stomach, he played along and he wasn't moving, and he was a very active baby in my stomach. He moved all the time, 24/7, like he never stopped moving. Yeah, you were, I'm talking about you. I think the doctor kind of knew. She's like, this isn't usually something that we, take concern over unless like there really truly is no movement. And she was like, but you are past your due date, and we don't want anxiety in our mothers. We don't want our expecting moms to have any anxiety over what's going to happen with their child. And she was like, so if you want, you can come into the hospital tomorrow and we'll induce you. And I was like, yes, I'll do that. So my appointment was sometime in the late afternoon, early evening, and we got home at 8:30 because there's a mall nearby, so I ended up going to the mall to walk around and try to like loosen up down there, see if it would happen any earlier because I was so impatient. And we went to dinner, so I got home around like 8:30 or 9. I could not sleep. They were like, make sure you get plenty of rest, make sure you like... I was up all night. I was just like feeling my stomach. I was like, I'm gonna get to meet you tomorrow. Like, hopefully, it wasn't like a horror story, like 48-hour labor. But yeah, I think like at 3 o'clock in the morning, I did like a full face of makeup because I was bored. I didn't have anything else to do, and I was so excited. Little did I know all that makeup would come off because I was so stressed about labor. It wasn't even like painful or anything. I just like started sweating during labor. So I like ended up taking it off with a wipe. So they're supposed to induce me at 5:30 in the morning, and he is talkative today. They're supposed to induce me at 5:30 in the morning, and it ended up, I got there at 5:15 because they said get there a little bit early, and I ended up in the waiting room until 8:30, and then they finally got me into like a room with a bed and everything, like for labor. Got me hooked up to like IVs and whatnot, and they had to do all my blood work and all my tests. So it ended up being around 10:30 or 11 that I ended up getting the Pitocin, which is the drug that they give you to move things along basically. So it was going along pretty smoothly, and when they checked me, I was 6 centimeters dilated by the time they gave me the Pitocin, which I had been for a few weeks, which is like basically effacement is when your cervix like thins out to start dilating. So I was fully effaced, and then when you dilate, you have to get to 10 centimeters before you can like officially push your baby out, you know what I mean? And I was at 6, but I wasn't budging from 6. Like I'd been at 6 since I was like 37 weeks pregnant, and I'm over 40 weeks at this point. I'm 40 weeks in 2 days. They broke my water. That was a very strange experience because I was not numb. I did not have the epidural. It was so weird to feel that. It didn't hurt. It was just like, ugh. Before they even broke my water though, they asked if I wanted the epidural now, and I was like, I'm a weird person. I keep hearing all these things about contractions being this horrible pain, and I wanted to know. I was so curious. I was like, yeah, can we wait? Like, I just want to feel what a contraction feels like. My mom looked at me like I was a crazy person. But I felt contractions right after my water broke. Right after my water broke, I felt contractions, and I was like, all right, put it in. Like, I can't. Yeah, as soon as they put the epidural in, I could not feel anything down there, and they put me on laughing gas. I was loopy, I was numb, everything was great. There's like a yoga ball, but it's shaped like a peanut, and they like that kind of, and they put like a little divot in between my legs, and they told me to lay on my side. So I was laying on my left side with a little peanut in between my legs, and I didn't think that was doing anything because I was just chilling out. Like I was just vibing along at that point. 2 hours later, they check me, and I am 9.5 centimeters dilated. And they're like, all right, let's get the doctor in here. The show's about to start. And I'm still kind of vibing out. Like, I'm very loopy. I am very, I'm still, you know, going through it with the drugs. But yeah, so the doctor comes in. Hold on. So the doctor comes in, and she basically explains to me like, hey, girlie, it's go time. Like, we're doing this now. And I love this doctor. So where I went for OB care, it was solely female doctors. They didn't have any male OBs. So it was just women. It was so comforting. I'm well aware that there are plenty of great male OBs, but I was so comforted by the fact that there wasn't going to be like a man at the other side of, you know, the bed, like looking at everything that's happening. I was grateful that it was a woman who understands and wasn't going to like, I don't want to say some weird things. That was just my mindset. That was just my like thought process. But she comes in and she's like, hey girl, it's go time. We're going now. And I was like, okay, like crap. Like, you know, like the loopiness that I was going through just completely went away. I was like, all right, it's showtime. I had my mom on one side of me, the nurse on the other side of me, and they were holding my legs, and there's another nurse like taking whatever the video. And it was so weird having to push while you can't feel anything down there. It's like basically guessing what you're doing. Like I thought that I was pushing like as hard as I could, and they're like, oh, you're gonna have to push a lot harder. And I was like, I don't know if I can. I ended up pushing. It was 20 minutes of pushing. They put the mirror out in front of me so I could see everything that was going on. I remember my first thought when I saw his head when he was crowning, I saw a full head of hair. Everyone in my family has been born bald, so when I saw him pop out with a full head of hair, like I just saw the top of his head, and I was like, what's wrong with his head? And they were like, that's hair. And I was like, okay. After that, you know, he popped out, everything was good. And the second that they put him on my chest and I got to like hold him for the first time, like immediately, like the most beautiful moment of my entire life. I would pay a lot of money to have that level of serotonin again, because I felt amazing. I was like, I did this, I made this, and he is perfect. I started crying automatically. I was like shaking and I was crying, and they were trying to take pictures of me. I was like, no, don't take pictures of me. I look so bad. He ended up latching almost immediately, which was great. Couldn't ask for anything better. And then I stayed in the hospital for 2 days. They said you can stay from anywhere from 2 to 4 days. I stayed for 2 because like postpartum sucks, and I'll probably make a video going through that and like tips and what happened with me. but I felt pretty good, and hospitals make me anxious, so we left after 2 days, and we went home, and I had my little bean. I was so happy. It was like hands down turning point in my life was when I had him. My lashes look so bad. Put your feet down. There we go. So yeah, that is Hayden's birth story. No, it did not hurt. I had a relatively easy birth compared to some of the ladies that I've talked to about theirs. But yeah, that's how this one came into the world. He just drooled all over my face. Ew. But thank you guys for watching. We love you. Make sure you subscribe. Follow my TikTok. Follow my Instagram. Say bye-bye. Say bye. Mwah. Mwah. Bye. Bye, guys.